Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet a certified body language expert. She's the author of this best-selling book. It's called Read the Zoom. Her incredible story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I've always been fascinated with charisma and how somebody can go into a room and the room changes. Part of that is their charm and their grace and their ability to shine light. And other parts of that experience is their ability to read the room, or in the case of the internet generation, read the Zoom. To talk about that today, a good friend, Melinda Marcus. She's a certified body language expert and author of Read the Zoom. Thanks for coming on the show.
Great to be here.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that statement that I made. I mean, we all know very charismatic people. Charismatic people, it's not just their ability to tell witty stories, it's their ability to relate and get on your planet. And you can't get on somebody's planet without reading them.
Well, a lot of people, I think, don't realize that, right? They think more about what they want to say, and they're not necessarily picking up those subtle cues of how people are responding to that. The other thing they generally are not aware of is their own nonverbals, what they're showing. And those two factors are anywhere from 60 to 80%
Amazing.
Of what the communication is, and can make a huge difference on whether you really gain consideration and ultimately win decisions.
Well, and I think you should be, a hired gun for every company in America, because their sales teams are struggling. We all know that there's a bunch of Gen Z salespeople out there. Not only are they not good at the cold call, but they're not really good at warming up to people and building rapport, because they're a texting generation, not a talking generation. So how could bringing you in help increase sales?
So there are a number of factors. One is that I look at what are they doing now, because the verbal messaging also is important. And there are things that, just for example, the order you put your points in can make a difference of up to 60% on whether you get consideration and a yes.
No kidding.
A lot of people don't know that. So one of the things I do is I look at both the research in persuasive psychology as well as nonverbal behavior. And those things can make a critical difference on whether you're getting to yes or not. You know, most people are just saying it was a great meeting because I said everything I wanted to say.
Yes.
And they have no idea really when they walk out of the room whether they're going to get it or not. And often they're shocked when it's no. They thought it went great. But what they missed were the signals where somebody showed stress or had an objection. But maybe what they said to them was, yeah, this looks okay, I'll get back to you. Which people do because they don't want a confrontation and they're just trying to be polite. So when you can recognize those signals, you know to circle back and you know at what point they were stressed out. Maybe it's timing, maybe it's budget, but you know when to circle back and ask about it.
Oh, I think you're absolutely brilliant. We're going to pull up your website, and as we scroll down the website, I want you to talk about how different companies can engage you. You're a fabulous keynote speaker, but you can also be brought in to train and coach.
Yeah. So I do work a lot with high-level leaders and also the mid-level leadership managers, and I help them be able to communicate better with whether it's their board of directors or they're talking to direct reports. But in my speeches, in a very engaging and participatory way, people learn how to read other people. So it's through video and photographs. And just as in my book, it's all visual. So I always hear from people saying, I never thought I'd be able to pick up things, but now that you showed me what to look for, I'm actually picking up signals in meetings that are changing the difference between whether we leave with a decision or we get a maybe.
Yes. We're going to put the book cover up on the screen. I think it's a beautiful
Thank you.
piece of art, if you will. And you wrote this during the pandemic?
I did. So originally, the reason you see it says read the room and it's crossed out is it was originally going to be about reading the room. And then suddenly in 2020, no one was in the room. And so it became read the Zoom. But it's the same view you have of us right now or across a conference room table or a desk or a restaurant table. It's this real estate that you can read. So it still works whether you're in an in-person meeting or virtual. And it's all pictures. What's really shocking to me when I was training in nonverbals is there's no books that are really photograph driven. And so this book is all photographs with call outs and things to tell you what to look for and what they mean.
And I think when you wrote this, there was no other book out there about reading, a virtual audience, was there?
Not to my knowledge, and I'm not even sure if there is now, to be honest with you. There's certainly no body language book which has over 100 color photographs in it.
Wow.
None.
She's a very popular speaker. You gave a TEDx talk a few years ago. Let's show this video, and I want you to kind of narrate this. For the people who aren't familiar with TEDx, you're timed, and so there's a lot of pressure. It's not you just going out there and winging it. So talk about this speech that you were giving.
Yeah, so in this particular one, and it's a little different than what I'm normally doing. Normally, I'm showing people how to influence others. In this particular talk, I was talking about how do you influence yourself when sometimes we get stuck. And when I work with certain leaders, there's maybe a pet project or something that they just want it to be so perfect that they never finish it or they don't actually start it.
Yes.
And so that's really what I'm talking about here. And the name of it was The Perfect Excuse. And it's that we end up not being able to move forward when we're going for too much. And sometimes it's just better to get something out there.
Yes.
And then you can go from there.
Let's talk about how you coach leaders, because I'm reading the Elon Musk book right now. And I think it says in the book that he's somewhere on the autism spectrum. So his ability to read faces and body language, he doesn't have it. If he was your client, what would you tell Elon Musk?
Well, I actually work with people on the spectrum. I've worked with folks who are scientists. I've worked with people who are technology people, very driven by that, even folks who are developing AI, that type of thing. And the deal is they are really smart and they learn from seeing visuals. So what they really need is that visual of when you see this, this is what that means. And then they're able to respond. And these people, it's been career changing as well as life changing. Because everything you learn about nonverbals and quite frankly, psychology,
Yes.
it applies to your business life and it applies to your personal life.
Do you find that like you're out to dinner with another couple, are you always kind of reading body language the whole time? Can you turn it off?
I don't consciously do it.
Yeah.
But I do feel I'm at a point now, having done this for so many years, that I can pick up signals. So I'll give you an example. When I ran into a friend that I had not seen in a while, and we were at kind of a cocktail party, and I said, "How are things going?" And she said, "Oh, they're fine." But I could see by her nonverbals on her face that things weren't good. So I said, "How are you really?" And she said, "I'm going through a divorce." And so I was able to have empathy and pick up on that. And what was great is that allowed me to circle back so that we could get together and we could rekindle the friendship and I could be supportive at a time that otherwise I might have just walked away and thinking, oh, well, everything's fine.
Well,
but it wasn't.
And I thought about you the other day. I was having dinner with a friend of mine, and we had both kind of leaned on the table this way. We weren't trying to mirror each other, but I just kind of looked up and I said, "You're a mirror image of me right now." We just fell into rapport. Talk a little bit about mirroring.
Yeah, well, mirroring, as you pointed out, is a wonderful thing to recognize because it shows you have rapport with somebody. And it happens unconsciously, not intentionally. You then recognized it consciously, which is a good thing. A lot of people don't know about it, so they would not even think about it. But particularly in sales, that's a powerful tool when you can do something and see that they're mirroring you, Or you might even be the person who starts mirroring them
Yes.
to see if then when you move into something, they'll continue it. Because that gives you a real strong signal of whether or not you have rapport yet or not.
Yes.
And you should never make an ask if you don't have rapport.
So, for instance, you're a salesperson, the person is leaning forward on the desk. You should not be leaning back in your chair.
You know, generally speaking, when people think that when you lean back, you are withdrawing, that you're no longer interested, that type of thing. For some people, it's just their back's hurting them, right? So if you do lean back, you then want to move forward again, right? So if you catch yourself doing that, it's natural to not just be in the same position the whole time, but you can lean back and then move forward. And for salespeople particularly, if you see the prospect is lean back, you may lean back too to just give them some space and then see when you move forward if they'll mirror you.
Well, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
I only have a 15-minute show, and I could talk to you for an hour and a half. Final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
I really do feel that it's so important to recognize that when you're thinking of communications, we generally just listen and focus on the words. It's very easy for people to manipulate their words. But what they are not aware of is true feelings, thoughts, and in certain cases, even what they're intending to do come through on the nonverbals. So being able to recognize those signals can dramatically increase your ability to be successful in whatever you're doing.
Well, I'm so thrilled with you. Thank you for sharing your heart and your wisdom with us. We're going to end with our website, which is influencebigdecisions.com. The great Melinda Marcus. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.